Let's move on to the main discussion.
Yeah. Today we're going to be talking about self-awareness and why that's important.
Yep.
All right. Do you want to start first? Or
I mean, go. I started the main one. How about you? You take the reins for a sec.
all right. Do you think that self-awareness is something that you can, like, that you can achieve and then not have to work on, or do you think that it's something that you can always be learning more on?
So it's self-awareness.
Yeah.
Like, do you just? I guess you can always become more aware of it, and I think you can kind of fix it as you become more aware of it. I don't think it's something you'll like always like. I feel like it's something you won't always have like perfect.
So it's something that you can always be improving on?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about you, man? What do you think?
I definitely agree. I think that some people learn it faster than others, but I think that it's definitely something that you can always improve on.
Definitely.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, okay. So if it's something you can always improve on, self-awareness, then how would you define the act of being self-aware?
I would say that the act of being self-aware is kind of thinking out your actions and how it might affect other people.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Instead of just thinking constantly about yourself and not questioning yourself.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Like just being objective about like how other people perceive you.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think there's so much power in that. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot that comes with that. Like, yeah, I think that there's even like a lot of biblical references to that of like, holding your tongue and just not being quick to speak, being quick to listen and slow to speak. There's a ton of power in that, and I think it comes in a lot of different avenues. That being one of them. There's a lot that comes with that, but it's like a lot of power to yourself because it'll affect your character and your development. Definitely. Yeah. So when you're able to take criticism like objectively and not let it get to you like emotionally, yeah, you're kind of remaining in the driver's seat of yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, moving on. What is an example in your life that opened your eyes to being more self-aware when it comes to your own actions and how it affects the people around you?
That's a really great question. I think one area where I've noticed that is sometimes how I can treat people. Now, looking at myself, I think I can be pretty respectful when it comes to like every day when I'm dealing with people. I don't think there's like something where I'm like super harsh or mean to people, but I know sometimes I don't know if it's like something where it happened where like earlier growing up where sometimes it feels like I don't fit in a situation, and so I'll kind of resort to being more closed off and just short with people. But I notice there's like sometimes when I'm on set with people, sometimes I will be kind of short with people or I'll be a little more irritable. And that's something I know I need to work on. And so I've been really self-aware with that. So that's one area I can say I should definitely like work on. So that's something that's like been really big to me. Or just like being friendlier to people sometimes. I feel like it's very easy for me to be more what is it, upfront or blunt. Be very blunt. I think it's good to be blunt. I'm kind of like putting back myself into a corner with this. I feel like there's a balance. There's definitely a balance when it comes to like the self-awareness, because I feel like you can be self-aware, and I feel like there's a time where it's like you can be self-aware. And well, hold on. Let me back up for a second. Do you think being self-aware means you're always identifying something about yourself where you're like, this needs to be changed or fixed, or is it like this is something where it can depending on what it is, it could be like justifiable without sounding cliche with that, or like you're trying to just make it right in your own mind.
I think that mainly it what you first said.
Mm-hmm.
I think that like trying to question yourself and your actions and trying to fix yourself.
Yeah.
But it branches off into how you treat other people too.
Yeah, and just to kind of go back to square one with that, yeah, there's definitely areas where I'm like, I see that, I'm like, that should be fixed, or I know it's not right, or it seems off. Like when I notice something, I'm like, that's off about myself and who I am. I'm like, that definitely needs to be fixed. Yeah, so there's a lot of strength to that, and I feel like even this past month and a half, or no, like let's say like the past, dude, honestly the past like month, I think I've started meditating more, and I started doing a few different things, and I noticed like there was stuff I was holding on to that has been very easy now to like let go of, and I feel like that was stuff I was seeing in myself where I was like, this isn't like me, this isn't normal, this isn't who I am. I felt like there's things I've been able to do where I can like really like let go of stuff, or like for the vast majority just be able to like it's disintegrated. So
like get over it.
Yeah, just like entirely. So yeah,
that's
no,
awesome.
it's been cool.
Sweet, man.
Yeah. So with that being said, do you think self-awareness, whether it comes to you or just other people in general, do you think it can be overlooked very easily, like just on a day-to-day basis in life?
I'd say so. Yeah.
Okay, why?
Probably because of kind of how the media like has this this image of what is normal, and I feel like basically a lot that it kind of stems from pride a little bit. A little bit, like you know what I mean? Like
yeah,
now,
no, that makes sense.
Like when you're talking to like it's all about me, yet you're not really facing yourself. Does that make sense? Like you don't ask people how they are or anything. And whatever you say...
You just mean being self-centered?
A little bit, yeah.
Okay, I get what you're saying.
But yet you're not like trying to progress. You think that you already got it all together. You know what I mean?
Right. Like, you're just being self-centered, but you're not... Yeah, you're just being selfish.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're like, I don't want to... Like, I'm perfect. I'm good.
Yeah, and it's definitely... a factor to take into account is the people you're hanging around, too.
Yeah.
Like, if you have
a
good friend if you have a good friend, you would think that friend would be like, hey, man, you're kind of being an asshole. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it might take an experience like that to wake someone up. You know what I mean? But if you're surrounded by, like, all these yes men that are all like, oh, yeah, man. Like, you know what I mean? And they don't ever, like, break it to you, then how can you be expected to change when you don't have that self-awareness in yourself? You know what I mean?
Yeah, like it's funny because sometimes I've wondered if like I think there's like a few times I've done that with people where I've not trying to be like, oh, I want to intentionally like make them upset or something, but there's been like like 2 or 3 times where I've like, I guess, quote, like, you rattle their cage a little bit with that, where you'll like really disagree with them on something and they might get upset and they might not like talk to you. Like they might just stop talking to you.
Yeah.
And I'm like, all right, that's fine. But I'm just trying to be more like, if someone's going to tell that to them, they might hate me, and then like a year or 2 later, they might like eventually come around to that and like remember that, and it might stick with them and eventually do its thing. You know, like you might plant that seed in them and they'll get really upset with it, but ultimately that might like be the best for them. And I'm not like sitting here saying like I will intentionally like ruffle feathers with people or anything, but there's been a few times where someone's doing something, I'm like, yeah, I can't.
Had it.
I can't. Well, I just can't agree with it, and I can't like be fake about it. I'm like, this is probably gonna cost me this friendship, but I'm gonna just be truthful with them. I just want to go after the truth with them, for them. And I think that's just a harder way of love. It's still like love towards them, but you're like, I gotta be like real with you.
Yeah, and I mean, the truth isn't always sweet. Would you rather be told a sweet lie or the hard truth?
Right.
In the end, it's still a lie, and it's still the truth.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. And they're like, there might be some flack that comes your way for it, but do it, you know? And it does come around like the self-awareness, you know? It's like you want to be legit with them, and you want to say, hey, this is really off about you. And it can be vice versa, you know? It's like I think there's sometimes there's things been told to me where I'm like really annoyed with someone. And like a week later, I'm just like, all right, you know, I need to be real with you. Like, okay, fine, whatever. Yeah, so it kind of goes both ways.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, it might be different if you were like all the time being like, hey, I just want to let you know this is off about you.
Yeah.
You don't go doing that.
Someone, you know, it's like to an extent, like everyone's going to have their quirks. Everyone's going to have something wrong with them. It's not like I'm sitting here trying to be like, let's point out everything that's wrong with Jake or whoever, you know, like, or even myself, you know, like to an extent, it's like, no, like then it's just annoying. Yeah. So it's balance, a lot of balance going on. Yeah. It's not just like a one-way street every time. Yeah. It's only like if it's something like major where you're like, this, like, you know, you have to, or, you know, it's something like that, I guess. Just, I don't know, just to get to the point of what I'm trying to illustrate here.
Yeah, and I mean, you're using your self-awareness to gauge whether or not you tell that person.
Yeah.
And who knows, I mean, it could spark self-awareness in the people that you tell. Mm-hmm. And that's what you want.
Word.
Right?
Yep. That's the goal. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, so I mean, is that all the questions for that? Or is there another one?
No, I think that's it.
That was it?
Yeah. I mean, you didn't ask me.
Did I not do the second question?
Yeah, you didn't ask it back to me. But, I mean, I'll do it if you want. But
did you ask what's an example to your life that opened your eyes?
Yeah.
Okay.
You don't remember answering that?
Did we just... Well, hold on. And then we overlooked how it's in everyday life, right?
Yeah, you asked me that.
We were answering that one?
Mm-hmm.
Is that the one we were on?
Yes.
Okay, I don't know how I got.
No, that's cool.
Okay, so, I mean, I could answer that a little bit, I guess. Or if I need to go back to the other one, I can answer that again.
It's up to you, man.
All right, let's go back to yours.
Okay.
So, yeah, let's go back to your question earlier. What's an example in your life that opened your eyes to being more self-aware when it comes to your actions?
Probably in early high school, I started to notice, kind of in the friendships that I had, but also I was just kind of paying attention to the people around me, that they would hang out with you, you know, like, hey, let's play video games, let's do this, let's do that, but then they would never like ask you how you are.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, that kind of like just opened my eyes to, like, you know, kind of change, you know, when it comes to, because I think that that's important, you know what I mean? That way you can, you know, make sure all is well, you know, with that person, check in on them, you know what I mean?
Sure.
I kind of feel like that's kind of important.
Right. Just like very surface level friendships.
Yeah, and so that kind of put a spark in me that I need to be more proactive, and also, you know, I mean, that's how I would want to be treated in a friendship, you know? And
sure.
Yeah, it really was the beginning of me opening my eyes to that and being more self-aware of kind of being more adamant on checking on my friends. You know what I mean?
Okay, yeah, no, that's okay. That's cool. You're able to kind of circle back around and being like, I don't like being treated this way. How do I want to treat people?
Yeah.
So you kind of use like reflection and self, and like you were definitely aware of like how crappy this is, and you're like, I want actual depth to like some type of relationship or fellowship or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think I get that too. I feel like I didn't have like really good friends in high school. I had acquaintances. There was I knew a lot of different people in school, but I didn't have like a super tight knit like friend. I feel I know that's when you and I first became friends, like 2010, like 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Dude, it was probably like 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Like whenever we did that Chick-fil-A thing, remember when we sang in that?
Yeah.
Was that in like December?
Yeah, it was Christmas.
That could have been like just over 10 years ago, but we just became friends then. But like it would kind of like drift in and out of like we would hang out, then wouldn't, etc.
Yeah, life.
Yeah, all that. But I remember looking back, I didn't feel like there was anything like to that, or I was like kind of disappointed how that stuff went. But it's high school, a lot of friendships just naturally drift. People grow and they grow apart. And I feel like I was kind of down that same avenue though, where I'm like, man, it feels like you don't exactly fit in with anyone. You just know a lot of people. So, no, I get that. Yeah, definitely. But, it's like if you've got like 2 or 3 real solid friends, you should feel proud of that.
Absolutely.
If you've got even like one really good friend, it's like that's probably all you need. It's like when you think about it, how many like real friends do you want? Like, do you want like 10? That's a lot of people to like put time into. And not that's impossible, but I guess if you're like super extroverted all the time, then that would work. But I don't know how many people are that way. That's just what I'm saying, That's a lot of people.
When did we drift back into each other's lives? It's kind of funny to think about.
Well, it was recent. Because when was that time we did hang out a few years ago? What happened? Yeah, I don't remember exactly when we started hanging out again, but I think like 2 or 3 years ago we met up. Dude, I don't even remember what we did. I just know that I know like somewhere in the back of my mind I'm seeing it, but I don't remember exactly what we did. But
yeah,
I think actually like a year ago you showed me a few songs that you wrote. There was like the ship sail thing, that song.
Yeah, that was a cover I did.
You showed me those songs. That was December of 2019.
Wow.
I don't remember exactly why I know that, but I think I was looking through emails and I saw you sent me that from like December of 2019.
Okay.
And so I was like,
I remember sharing that with you.
Yeah, I remember like we met up and like you showed me those one time and I was like, and we briefly talked about doing music stuff. I think at that time we had a show coming up. And even then at the time I was like, I wonder if Jake would ever be interested in like doing music on like stage or something. And so I know like now we're kind of like coming full circle to that again. But we're actually like doing something about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, even then like I had that idea. And I think like a year or two before that was when we like first started like actually sort of hanging out again. We might have just gone out to like Buffalo Wild Wings or something.
Yeah.
It might have just been that.
And 2020 we hung out a lot.
Yeah, I think in June.
Yeah.
In June we met up to start writing scripts, and then like we need to finish that still. But we started doing that, and then like it just started like started doing that again, like all the time. So it did, one of those things.
Yeah, man.
Yep. So. Yeah.
Fun stuff.
It must have been like 2018 or something. So here we are, 2021, folks.
Yeah. The one.
Yeah.
The one.
The one.